primary pitfalls are the issues that were faced by the customers, I mean, by the other integrators while trying to work. Okay. So that is something which we will talk. Then we will show you by each and every API. So based on what we have also found out from the other integrators, we'll provide you the details of what are the kind of mistakes people do. And you can look at it, and then you might also be interested to kind of make the necessary changes accordingly. Okay. And probably every 15 minutes once, we'll have a 5 minutes Q&A. So you can talk at that time, or keep your questions ready. You can shoot the questions after that 15 minutes, because this is basically to make sure that, we don't get interrupted. And at the same time, we don't want to let go of your questions. We would be more than happy to answer all your questions. And I don't want to do it at the end of the hour. So I would rather make it as every 15 or 20 minutes once, probably we should do that on a continuous basis, and then we can finish this. Thank you so much. Amod and Vasant, over to you guys. Vasant and Amod, are you there in the call?
Yeah, Srini. Thank you, Srini. Amod, if you want, you can take it first.
No, take it ahead, Vasant. If required, I will pitch it.
Okay. Yeah, guys, good afternoon and good evening. Let me quickly share my screen, and we'll just go through. We prepare a draft document. I could say that will be a book, right, to book for the developers. Okay, let's go by that. Yeah, let me know once my screen is visible to your ear. Is it my screen is visible? See?
Yes, it's visible.
Yeah. Shall we go ahead? Shall we start?
Go ahead, Vasant. Yeah, you can go ahead. Yes.
Yeah.
Go ahead, please.
So, see, the very first basic mistake we have found is people are confusing the API calls between dev.abdm and the dev.ndhm. Okay. As per NHA, dev.ndhm.go.ns decommission. So we strongly recommend you guys, if you are invoking any APIs with dev.ndhm.go.in, please update that to dev.abdm.go.in. This is the actual live sandbox URL for accessing the sandbox APIs. Okay. Then second, so mostly what we found is, you guys are not sending the timestamp as per the OpenAPI specification, as like Srini said. Okay. So our APIs will accept date and time values in ISO 8601 format, and time zone it UTC. Okay. If you see, the timestamp format, it is 4YY-DD-MM. Then you should include T, then hour in 24 hours, regular timing, minutes, seconds, and dot 3-digit microseconds suffix with T time zone, that is UTC. Okay. Then what we have found is integrators are not using the unique request ID. For example, in any API, in any of our APIs, we use the request ID and timestamp in the request payload. That we found that there are a couple of integrators are not using a unique request ID, because our system is deployed with handling the security vulnerabilities like replay attacks, brute force attacks. So if you are getting any forbidden error 401 or 403, you have to check whether you are passing a unique request ID. Then when it comes to concern, concern is a core. Okay. Now core, what we observed is, while raising a data request, instead of passing a concern artifact ID, there are people wrongly use the concern request ID. So basically, consent request ID is a reference ID for the consent initiator. That is not right related to consent artifact. Only consent artifact ID, it is specific to the generated consent for the the request. Okay. Any queries out of this 5 points?
Hello, Vasan sir.
Yes, yes.
Sorry for the interruption. This session is being recorded. So some of you are asking to record this session. So we are recording this session and we will upload this session to our Sandbox website. So you don't have to worry. Please focus on the session. We will provide you the recording. Thank you, Vasan sir.
Yeah,
Please continue.
Yeah, thank you, Sachin. So, team, do you have any queries, questions related to these 4-5 points?
Yeah, this is Smith from NIC. Actually, regarding the timestamp, that the last part, it is the nanosecond part. Okay, that nanosecond part is now must or required. Earlier, it was not must, right? We can provide up to minute, hour, minute, and second. Nanosecond was not required, and APIs
So
were
exactly. So exactly, you are right. So no, right.
Hey, 1
Maybe
minute,
before
Vasant.
not-
Vasant, 1 minute, Vasant. Guys, let me moderate it. I think I told you that after 15 minutes, please keep your questions, everything ready. Okay, so we will respond to this correspondingly. Okay, and I would prefer that that be maintained. Thank you. So first 15 minutes, Vasant will start explaining things, and that toward the end of 15 minutes, let's have a clock. I'll have a clock, and we can start. We can keep it open for Q&A. Vasant, you go ahead.
Yeah. Yes, sorry, guys. Okay. So the 6th point, right? So that is right. There is something called auto approval and subscription. There is a confusion among a few integrators that if they enabled the auto approval, they know not to raise a constant. Okay, that is not the case. Okay, so subscription will do right. If you have a valid subscription for your HIU, whenever a new linkage is happen against our borders, you'll get notified. But on the notify, you have to trigger the consent request, and for that consent request getting auto approved, you must have a valid auto approval policy. But I have seen with few integrators that they are in a wrong understanding, or they don't have clarity about this. They are in an assumption that if they have a subscription auto approval, then they don't need to raise a consent request. Automatically data will come into the system. That is wrong actually. Subscription is very simple. Any HIU has a valid subscription. Whenever there is a new care context linked against that particular ABA address, then the subscribed HIU will get notified. Similarly, whenever HIU initiate a consent request, if it has a valid auto approval policy, that will get auto approved. Post that, when the HIU get notified with the approved consent artifact ID, it has to initiate the data flow. Okay, so data will not directly come to the system if we have a valid subscription auto approval policy. That is basically to eliminate the end user patient intervention. Because once your patient trusts to your HIU, then you will get notified and your request will get auto approved. It doesn't mean that the data will come to your system automatically. Okay. Then so the other point okay. The 7th point is FHIR bundle. That is actually the pain area. Okay. What we found is there were few fixes we also made it from our side. Okay, from the schema level. But most of the case, what we observed is people are not building the FHIR bundle properly. Like they are doing an invalid timestamp. They are using a unsupported characters, special characters using the FHIR bundle. So what this creates, when the HIU, especially our NHA mobile application, receives the FHIR bundle, it will do a couple of steps like decryption, unbundle of FHIR bundle, validate it, then only it will push into a system and you can able to see the mobile application. So FHIR bundle, we would suggest try to have open API validate, open libraries like open source library like for active FHIR library for Java and C#. Use that to validate your FHIR bundle before sending it to any HIU or any mobile application backend service. Okay, and that is the reason, right? There are many times we are saying that pull record command not showing the data on the mobile application. Because the FHIR bundle, we could not see the valid FHIR timestamp, or we are not seeing the proper care context reference ID. In some cases, right, that our size was 15 characters, but there are integrators sending more than that. Now we resized our schema to support maximum 150 characters for the care context reference. So strong recommendation from our side here would be, right, use FHIR open source code library for validating your FHIR bundle before you are pushing it to any HIE. And other problem we observed is, right, you guys are assuming that right, you send the FHIR bundle. Recently we faced with one integrator that they are having some network issue, their request is getting timed out. Okay, so we request you to add a proper logging of request status, payload, header, so that, right, whenever, right, you guys are experiencing any difficulty, those information will help us to expertise our root cause analysis and give you, right, a prompt resolution. Okay, then we observed is, right, the very basic is request header and request payload. It is not as per the OpenAPI specification. So I strongly recommend you guys. So whenever, right, you are facing any problem with the API, just go and open the OpenAPI. Even this document, right, talks about that. Each and every API where you are basically committing mistake, just verify that your logs then reach us, so that there are many issues which can be resolved by on your own. That is why I called, right, this particular document as a, right, cookbook for the developers. Okay. So look at here. The timestamp analysis. Each and every value we gave it, right, with an example. Okay. Then, so the very first API. So before getting into the use cases, right, Chini, we can take a break and hear from them. Chini.
Okay, guys, these 10 points which has been provided by Vasant. Do we have any clarifications? Do you have any questions or any other few additional views as well? Please feel free to share.
Hello. Hello. KU this side. I have a question regarding that care context size. So can you please confirm what is the care context size at the ABDM end?
So now on the FHIR bundle care context sizes, we have a max limited to 150 characters.
Okay. And my next question, like for the 6th point, as you mentioned that auto approval use case. So like, can you in case of auto approval use case, the SMS functionality, like whenever any new care context has been linked to the patient profile, okay, so at the same time, like in case of auto approval, the SMS will triggered by the ABDM or not, like it is mandatory or not to inform that particular patient, because what happens if the auto approval use case will like execute for a single patient, and what if like patient has multiple care contexts linked? Okay, in that case multiple SMS will send. So it is a optional or it is a mandatory parameter to send the SMS notification in case any care context linked with the approval use case, like auto approval use case?
Okay, yeah. So this is a good question. Basically, right, HIP initiated linking or user initiated linking, that is a core use case, right? Whenever a new care context link against that ABA address, the user will get notified on the mobile as well as, right, that is push notification as well as SMS. That core functionality remains same. Okay, but the subscription and auto approval, right, it makes the life of subscribed HIU easier. Assume that say why subscription is required. Okay. Now I am visiting Apollo Hospital for a long-term treatment for my long-term disease. Now my doctor will not aware whenever a new data is created for me. Okay. To avoid that, we have a subscription. So that is the reason, right? Whenever any HIP initiator linking or user initiator linking, the end user will get notified on his mobile, the push notification as well as SMS. Similarly, the subscribed doctor, right? He will notify doctor Vasant. There was a new data created for Vasant. This is a good time for you to write request for it. So how the doctor will get the data? He need to follow the consent framework, right? Then he will initiate a consent. So first time I am the user, right? I have to manually approve the consent. But now, right, since it's a long-term disease, I know it. I'm taking the treatment for the specific doctor. He no need to write. I no need to approve, right? This request manually every time. So that is a place where the auto approval plays a vital role. So doctor will initiate a consent request. It will get auto approved. Similarly, the end user, right, as a core functionality, the end user will get notified on the SMS. Boss, the doctor requests a consent for you. That will happen. But the push notification will not go because the user intervention, we are eliminating it. That is the core principle of auto approval. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, somehow. And regarding the same, like this is regarding the consent, correct? So my question, when we are like doing the like HIP initiated linking, so whenever we are linking the patient's care context, so I'm talking about that part. So is there any way, like if that is auto approval, like we have a demographic mode itself there, so in that case, if the patient is not there with the hospital, so in that case, if we are making linking that those core care contexts, so that time is it necessary to send the notification? So that was my question for
No,
the
but
HIP.
see,
Yeah.
the SMS will be sent by HIECM, by
Yes,
ABDM.
yes, correct,
Okay, the
correct.
platform will send. So in V2 case, you can do a linkage, right? One linkage at a time. So if you are doing 4 times a linkage, there will be a 4 SMS sent to the end user. Okay, that will be, user will get the SMS for sure. And he will get the push notification mobile also. If he is using any PS application, he will get notified.
Sir, this consent request is used created by HIMS, and it is a request is sent, and that will the patient from his PHR app will modify the consent request and whatever he wants, and he will give that permission. That much of data will come. Does it mean that with auto approval, whenever the new data is created somewhere else, the HIMS or the doctor who created in the past also will get that data, sir?
Yeah, exactly.
Similar to the PHR app?
Yes, yes.
So
Yeah, you are right. You are right. So when a request, right, notify to the end user on the mobile application, yes, user has right to control. It can edit the subscription, customize it, and approve it. But when the auto approval comes to the place, right, what we are saying is we have to create a consent for the specific care context. For example, this is the API. Okay, let me go there.
Okay, just to clarify, Umesh ji,
Yes, sir.
Vasant sir is talking about the PHR app only. From the PHR app, you have to raise the consent. That is the use case. So if you are building a HMIS, you don't have to worry about this.
Okay.
So look at it here. This is the API. You will get notified whenever a new care context is linked. Okay. And if you see that, right, you have the care context. So you have to initiate a consent request to the specific to the care context, HIP ID and the patient ID. Then the consent will be specific to this care context. Again, if you have a valid consent auto approval policy, if you initiate a consent request for a blanket, yes, it will get auto approved with all the care contexts. In that case, there won't be any customization. Only in case of the patient gets involved on approving the right consent, yes, he can do the customization. Removing the HIPs, reducing the right data from and to range, data erase date, he can do it. Yes.
Data erasing.
Any further questions, folks?
Yeah, I have a question. So, Vasant, my question is that if I don't have implemented the subscription and auto approval yet in my system, so will I be able to do the usual consent creation, mechanism that was in place earlier? Because as of now, I'm not able to create the consent request and grant it from the PHR Sandbox app. So that flow is in picture at the moment, or we are going to remove it?
Yes. No. See, we have not eliminated any of the use case or any of the flow. Okay. So
Okay.
we just highlighting where people are committing mistakes. Okay.
Okay.
Where they are going wrong. You are still the manual consent process in place. Today, if you initiate a consent for me, it will come to my mobile application. I will approve. I have to approve or deny. I can do while I'm approving it, I can do the customization. The same
Okay.
time, there's other flow in the system, the V2 system, the old system, the legacy system, that the HIU can have a subscription policy and auto approval policy. For example, the mobile application, okay, it is backed by a backend service. That is nothing but a HIU, okay. But we used to call as patient HIU because patient is using that HIU, right? It means that patient HIU is having a valid subscription and auto approval policy. That's the reason when you guys are tried or any user tried to perform user initiated linking on the pull record, there internally, right, a consent will get initiated and that will get auto approved because we cannot bypass the core principle. ABDM core principle is right, health information exchange with consent management. Okay, so there will be a consent artifact generated, but that will get auto approved. So these use cases or the flows are already exist in the system, and we just highlighting where and all the people are going wrong.
Yes, the 6 point is mainly for the integrators who are implementing the health looker specifically. So if you are not implementing the health looker, then you might not be doing these things. So you don't have to worry about this point. Only the health looker who have implemented the subscription flow, for them, sir wants to show what mistakes they are doing. I hope you got it.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, yeah. This is Sumit from NIC. So basically, the subscription and auto approval that is related to patient HIUs, right? Not the facility or doctor HIUs.
Yes.
So you
Okay,
can
only
have
for
it.
patient.
You
HIUs.
can, but for
So
now,
you can have it, but
HIUs are not
primarily
implementing it.
we are focusing on patient HIU and health logger.
Yes,
That is
yes.
necessary for both the entities. Okay, if you are implementing a regular HIU, yes, you can have it. You can request a patient to give you can request a subscription request. If he approves, you will get automatically notified. If he requests a auto approval policy, if patient approve it, then you can also have those things. But primarily, this is essential for health locker and patient HIU.
Basically, that auto approval, it needs to be set by the patient, right? The subscription we can set as an facility HIU, but the auto approval should be set by the patient.
Yes, sir.
That's why, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
This is Sai from Hitachi. Hello. I think it would help if, because we would be contrasting this document with the changes that we have to make in the application as such. If we could be explicit here, for example, as Vasanji, you've mentioned that the 6 point is specifically for health lockers and also patient HIUs. Because we have not implemented the subscription and order approval use case because we do not have a health locker, but you also have mentioned that it is for patient HIU. Specifically, if we are explicit here, that would help us implementers while we go through this document.
Sure, sir. Sure.
This is FHIR from ECW. I wanted to know that, in FHIR, while creating an FHIR bundle, what kind of special characters are not allowed to be passed in the FHIR bundle? Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, exactly. So see, we recommend to use hyphen, underscore, slash. Those are the recommended stuff. Don't use dollar or all those things in care context reference or any other places.
Hey, we
You
will
know,
publish that. Alpha, to answer your question, yeah. So probably what we could do is that we will publish this also in this document in terms of what are the valid special characters available in the FHIR. So that should not be a problem. We'll add
Thank
that
you. Yeah, thank
because
you
no,
so much.
we don't want to give offline the details. Yeah.
And
Okay, that was
ma'am,
great.
ma'am, one more thing regarding the FHIR bundle. For this workshop, if you have already implemented one FHIR bundle, na, then that bundle should continue. That is our expectations. So there is no change in the FHIR bundle as such, but there might be some standardization in the API specifications.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there any chance like if the bundle is correct, okay, but is there any chance like if the data comes like for any data, if the special characters are part of that particular data, then it might be the case, then bundle can be like not validated. Is there
No,
any
we
chance?
are not doing anything with the bundle.
Okay,
This workshop is specifically for the APIs.
okay,
Okay,
okay, okay,
HIECM APIs. So
okay.
you don't have to worry about your FHIR bundle. If you have validated your bundle properly, then it will work. If you have some issues with your bundle, then it might not work. As simple as it is. And bundle, we are not doing anything with the bundle in M3. Okay, it will remain as previous.
Okay, okay, okay.
Okay.
Yeah, just a quick question. So we still see that the Swagger for ABA APIs as well as the other HIP, HIU APIs still have the reference to old APIs. Is that being updated or do we have a separate link to follow? Because this would
No.
help us estimate what refactoring should be needed.
So V2 it is same. Okay, V2 API, there is no change in the signature or in the request header or the payload. Okay, just
Okay.
we are telling you guys, right, the observation where and all we are getting the wrong data. Okay, now, right, maybe someone says, right, initially I used to send the timestamp without millisecond was working. Now it won't do that. We'll upfront get the message, please write incorrect, right, from data to date. Especially in consent and data flow, right? You guys are giving, right, the time range has to be passed. Okay, you can initiate a consent for the data which is already linked. It cannot be a future. Okay, but the time range, the to date, right, you guys are giving greater than the current time. That is one observation. So again, the next observation, what I have recently, last week I found is, right, you guys have a valid concern artifact. But while initiating a data request, you are giving a correct concern artifact ID. But while giving the from and to date, you guys are giving the time range which is out of the box of approved concern artifact. Even though the value is in a correct ISO format, UTC time zone, but the range is out of the approved concern artifact. So you guys have to ensure that the data request is aligned or within the time range, the from and to of generated approved concern artifact. But same way, while you are initiating consent request, try to give the to date which is less than the today, right, current time, so that it will work.
Awesome, that's clear. So my question is, for example, as an example for the care context discover, currently our API is v0.5 slash care
That is
context slash on discover.
Same, no change.
So even with the V3 version, we still continue to call the
No, V3 is
v0.5.
different. No, V3 is different. V3 will be
that
publishing a separate Swagger. That is start with slash API V3 HIECM. It's different.
yeah, that's what I'm asking. Where are those APIs documented so that it would help us move to V3 quicker?
Yeah, sure. We'll publish it. Okay, it is ready. We'll
Yeah.
publish it along with this
Okay.
document. We'll publish that.
Right,
Hello.
thank you.
Hello. When we implemented one and less, there was no encryption required apart from data transfer. But now with V2 and all that, we need to do encryption. That part of encryption, we are doing it in a TypeScript, that is Node. And how to encrypt that?
So still in HIECM, you have to encrypt the data only in the FHIR bundle, not write any other places.
In version 2 and 3, there is no need for encryption in other places apart from data transfer?
Yes.
But in milestone 1,
Yes.
there is a
I
encryption
clear,
part for
I
Aadhaar and
clearly
all
put
that.
a no. I clearly put a disclaimer for HIECM.
Hello.
No, 1 minute. To give you an answer, M1. So
Yeah.
whatever we are discussing here is M2 and M3. Yeah, go ahead, Sachin.
Yes, sir. I think there is still some confusion. So I will request all of you, please go through the session, okay, and test your existing system. See, we are not asking you to change anything. We are not asking you to implement the V3 API, okay, in this session, obviously. If you want to implement the V3, obviously we will help you. But for this session, please check if your existing V2 system is working fine or not. That's it.
V1, V1.
Yes, old system. That the API will be version 0.5 and
Okay.
HIECM API we are saying that is M2 and M3. We are not discussing M1 for now. Okay. Only M2 and M3 version V0.5. So what we want to do, we want to make sure your sandbox system is working fine and the data transfer is working, record linking is working, consent is working, everything is working. That is our objective.
Okay.
Yes, Sachin said there is no code
So-
change required as of now. Okay, so I think
So for the new
probably you should
indicators,
start with the
sorry to
next step
interrupt
of
you.
work, Vasant. I think you should start quickly, walking them through the APIs. Probably next 30 minutes. Let's do that, and then we can have another 10 minutes because this has been a longer time in terms of Q&A. Yeah.
Yes.
Sure,
So
sir.
one person asked if for the new integrators. So for the new integrators, I think this workshop will be not helpful for you. For the new integrators, we are asking them to directly move to the V3. Okay. So you can join our, I think you can go to the upcoming sessions and you can check what session you want to go. Then we will show you the V3 API flow there.
And are the already documents uploaded for these new APIs?
Document is there in the menu. You can go to the V3 documentation and you can go through the documentation on the Sandbox website.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Vasant sir, please continue.
Okay. So let us start with patient share API. Okay. So a patient journey starts from there, right? Sharing his profile, getting himself registered with HIMS or LIMS, and then he can avail other services with that particular entity. So the first API is patient share, the profile share. Okay. Is a mandatory attribute for this header is XOR token. This is a token nothing but which you will get after successful authentication of the user with the PHR system. Maybe the PHR system will return you the X token. You have to use the same X token as XOR token for this API. That is a simple JWT token. Okay. Then the payload takes the request ID. As I clearly said earlier, you have to use the unique ID. So see example, right? So we have to give some values. So we put some unique UID value. It doesn't mean that it may be appear in other APIs also. It doesn't mean that you can use the same UID for all the APIs. That is wrong actually. Okay, you have to generate a unique ID for each and every API. Why that is essential is two reasons. One is for doing the complete traceability of the API end to end. Second is while we are giving the callback, it will be easy for you to correlate the response. When I'm giving the on share, you can correlate, okay, this response is for this request. Then intent is a object. You have to give type, and type is profile share. In V3 we support two other use cases. Okay, V1 we support only profile share. So you have to give profile underscore share. Then location, latitude, longitude, it's a even though it's a string, you have to give the range. Okay, many cases we observe that latitude values goes beyond 90, the plus or minus 2, minus 90 plus 90. Similarly for longitude. Okay, then HIP details, so you will get from the the QR code, the HIP ID, and the code is nothing but a counter ID. It can be alphanumerical. Okay, but here also don't use special codes. We would suggest whenever you guys are creating a services, please avoid using special character like at, all those things. We preferably recommend to use to write a split the words, use underscore or hyphen. Don't use dollar at within the service ID names. You guys know, right? That will create easier for doing the SQL injection. Okay, so this is specific to right patient share. On patient share, we observed right in the numerical alphanumeric value, we observed the space, hyphen, slash, all of these, right? So we allowed, we can have hyphen, underscore, and maybe the code you can use dot, sometimes you ABC dot 123 something, but don't use at, all those stuff. Okay. Then at the HIP side, we will be calling your API, right? We will pass you the authorization token. The way we are authorizing your API request, you have to can also do it, right? And we are sending authorization token. You can validate with it's actually our gateway client ID and HIP ID. We will send you the service ID, not the bridge ID. There are people where right, we work with 2-3 integrators that they were the impression that we will send a callback to the bridge. So it is wrong. We won't send the right callback to the bridge ID. It is specific to the service ID. Okay. So as I said, request ID will be unique. Even while we are also calling you guys, we will send the proper ISO format, UTC time zone value, and indent type same, and the HIP code is nothing but the code which we received from the previous API. Patient information health ID is nothing but your ABA address. There's a confusion between health ID number and health ID. Okay, people used to send expect the ABA number in the health ID. That is wrong. Okay, we will send the ABA address, that is ABC at the rate SBX in sandbox environment, ABC at the rate ABDM at the production environment. And LTID number, it will comes with right the printed format with hyphens, the 14-digit number. Then name, gender. The name is right, full name. Okay, we won't send any special character. It will be right the concatenation of first name, middle name, and the last name. And gender value will be right young, yeah, others, unknown. Okay, so we won't send male, female, and all. It's as per the HL7 standard. Okay, the address. If you have the address in your right the PHR system or the LTID or ABA system, you will get the proper address as per the ABA, or else right the line will be blank. Okay, then year of birth we will send the year, the 4-digit year. Since month and day are optional in V2 APIs, the old version, you will get either 1 month or right the default value. Similarly, identifiers, we will pass MR for medical record, okay, mobile for mobile number, and NDHM LTID number. It is right, since it was defined NDHM the older system, we are aligned to that. Maybe in the new system, it will be ABA number or ABA address. Okay, then LTID, as I said, it is ABA address and email ID. If the ABA is created using your email ID, those will be included in your identifier. Identifier is right, it's a list. Okay, we will not restrict only with the ABA number, that is NDHM health ID number or health ID, health underscore ID. Then on share, you have to give the callback to on share. Similarly, request here also the people used to write commit mistake. So this request ID, right, it should not be new one, it should be the request ID which you receive here. Okay, so that our system or platform can be able to correlate. Otherwise, people used to say that I send the response, but it is not forward to the mobile application. Why? Because we are not able to correlate the response. You guys are giving a new different request ID rather than the same one. But here it should be new. The acknowledgement, status, success or failure in uppercase, and you have to give me the LTID, which is nothing but ABA address, and the token number. It can be alphanumerical. It doesn't mandatory that the queue will always remain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can be ABC underscore 1. Right. It can include right the counter number, counter name underscore 1. So it will be alphanumerical. Suppose when I'm right sending a patient share request, if your system found some errors, you no need to send me my acknowledgement. Rather than just include the request ID, timestamp, error object, and the response. For error object, refer our dictionary. So pick up the appropriate error message, the code message, give it back. so that we can forward the same to the requester. Once I send you a share request to the HIP, the HIMS or LIMS, they return me this year. Okay. And most of see in a right on ABDM, our SLA is right max to max 10 seconds because of the net, we are interacting each other through the internet. Okay, considering all the network latency, we are expecting you're going to give us a call back in as possible in milliseconds. The maximum SLA will be 10 seconds. Okay, some cases we receive the request after right 20 seconds, 30 seconds, which we aren't able to process it. Okay, then consent approve API. Okay, so in old system there is something called verify your right. While whenever the patient try to approve the consent, you need to verify his PIN. Okay, so that is this API. You have to give me the plain 4 digits number, numeric value. Maybe the data type will be string. You can write. You have to give only the number 4 digit number. It cannot be alphanumeric, and it should not be encoded or encrypted. It should be a plain text. Okay, the scope has to be consent approved. Okay, then only it will get processed. So with few integrators, we observe that they are giving a different scope. That is why they are not able to approve it. Okay, and the next one is auto approval. Okay, so
Hello.
here is this is very important for auto approval as well as subscription. Okay, whenever you guys are sending this consent approve, subscription approve, auto approval, please do this. If you are including the is applicable for all HIP equal to true, value is accepted value is true or false, a Boolean attribute. If we are giving true, ensure this HIP is null. Okay. Yes, you are saying this policy is applicable for all the HIPs. Okay. Suppose if you are giving false, then you can have a list of multiple HIP, more than one. It can be one or more than one, and you can have the excluded sources. But if it is true, then the size of the list must be 1 and HIP must be null. Okay, and the time period I said here also you need to follow the same ISO format and the UTC time zone. HI types, yes. In V2 system, your links are not associated with any specific HI types. So you have to give all the 7 HI types. Whether raising the consent request or the subscription request, we strongly recommend to you guys to include all the 7 HI types like prescription, diagnostic report, OT consultation, discharge summary, immunization record, health document record, wellness record. Okay. Right. People used to set only 2, 3 HI types and they are start saying us, so we are not getting subscription notify or our request is not getting auto approved. So reason is this. This is also one of the reason you have to include all the 7 HI types. Here also the HIU ID or HIP ID, it is service ID, not the bridge ID. Okay. The excluded sources, if you are including even a single HIP as excluded sources, you have to give the excluded information. Okay. It cannot be HIP, cannot be null. Otherwise, you will get bad request. Okay. So auto approval policy, here you have to give the auto approval request ID. It should not be any random request ID. It's a mandatory attribute. You have to give the request ID which you got it from the push notification. Then you can enable, disable your auto approval artifact. So there also you have to give the auto approval ID. Okay, the artifact ID, not the request ID, which you want to enable or disable. So this plays a vital role when the user is switching between PHR application. Today I'm using NHS mobile application. Tomorrow I might use some XYZ mobile application, That case, I don't want my data getting access from the other mobile application. So from the new application, I can go and disable the auto approval policy, disable the subscription. I can do that. So these enable approve, disable APIs plays a role there. So here common mistake we observed is the auto approval ID. People used to give the request ID instead of auto approval artifact ID. So before starting with user initiated linking, I'm putting a pause. Let us take questions for 5 minutes.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Vasant, one question from my side. When I am hitting the on share request back to ABDM, it is giving me 400 bad request error. So, and the body which I am sending is same that you have shown in this page, now. It is exactly same. And earlier it was working for me, but from past few days, it's giving me 400 errors. So, what could be the possible cause for this?
So you are saying you are sending this payload and you are getting error bad request, correct?
Yes, 400 bad requests. Yeah.
So are you sending to dev.abdm or NDHM?
Sorry.
Are you sending the callback to dev.abdm or
Yes,
dev.ndhm?
dev.abdm.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Maybe
you are from which entity?
Access Health International.
Alright.
Vasant.
so it will be great. Okay. The other
Hello.
recommendation I'll try to give you is So you are saying this right, you are getting some error. So we request you to provide the query, timestamp and the payload so that we can expertise the root cause analysis.
So shall I
So
drop you a
just have
mail
your,
with the details?
yeah, please drop it to Sachin, it will reach us and we'll get back to you quickly.
Okay.
Hello, and also I will request all of you. You can after the session you can try out the APIs, and tomorrow also we will have this session. If someone gets any error, they can ask the error is tomorrow. Okay. For now, what we can do, we can take the specific question regarding the flow or some field like this. Okay. For some particular error, if the error is very common, we can like answer you. But if we need to do some debugging and checking the logs, right, we will not be able to do this here. We will take it up later, or you can drop a mail.
Hi, Vasant.
Hello. Am I audible, Vasant?
Yep, audible.
Yeah, so here Vishwam from eClinical Works. I'm having issue for this endpoint also, for the on share endpoint. Earlier it was working fine, but nowadays we are getting error whenever we are passing alphanumeric value and token number. We are getting error that token number must be having value only numeric value. So is there any chance at your end or?
Please, very simple. No. Then it should be right. We need to look into it. Please drop that email to Sachin. We'll take care. So you are
Okay.
getting a message that token number must be numeric, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, you send it to us. We'll take care.
Okay.
So
Hi, Vasant.
basically, that is the right actual intention of this section. We want to understand if the existing flow is getting failed for any reason. Hey, thanks
Yeah.
for this.
Okay. Earlier
Thanks
it was
for this.
working fine, so that's
Yeah,
why.
it has to. It has to.
Okay.
It will continue.
Okay.
Yeah, next.
Thank you.
Hi Vasant, this is Surjeet
Yep.
from Home Healthcare. So, am I audible?
Yep. Yeah, Suji.
So
Go ahead.
I've been testing actually all the APIs. So I only had one from the same issue actually. I had a callback from profile share. The data type of timestamp has been changed to string. It's not the time format.
So what you are getting?
A normal string. The time is there, but the time is correct, but it's the data type of it is string, not
So you are
the
getting this value, right?
typo.
Are you getting this value
Except the T.
with T, right?
No, without the T.
Is it?
Not on share. I'm getting the call back from profile share. I'm testing from HIU end.
Okay. So no, for which API you are getting it? Then we can
Above one, the
right.
above one.
This one. This one.
Yes. Yes, correct.
For this API, you are getting the timestamp without T, right?
Yes.
You are using which app, ma'am?
Sorry?
Which app you are using?
PHR app, that the sandbox app that's been provided.
All right.
Okay.
We will check it.
Point again. We'll look into it. Thank you. So
Okay.
it's a good finding. Okay. I'll ask the team to look into it.
Vasant,
I don't have any issue on share. The request is coming. I just checked an hour ago.
Okay, cool, cool. And someone said he has a problem with this API.
yeah, Vasant.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
For some of the APIs, when there is some error, right? In
Ah.
that case, in timestamp we are getting some value in array. So
Which API? That will be great. If you give me the API,
the exact APIs I can give you, but as of now I don't I can't recall that. But for some of in case of error only, like if the success call is done, then in that case we are getting proper response from ABDM. But in case of some error, we are getting timestamp value in array manner. So that goes at our end while converting it to date time.
Yeah, no. You have to get in the same format.
Yes.
Well, you can do. In case of error,
Yeah.
timestamp
And
value
if possible, it will be very helpful if you give the API endpoint as well.
Yeah,
So,
sure. We will provide
when
that.
you test, yes, when you test your system, please make sure ki save the APIs.
Sure.
Hello.
Yes.
I'm Namrata from Argusoft. We are technical partners for Government of Uttar Pradesh e-Cover. So we also face this issue. So while getting the error in it on confirm and on add care context callback, if the error is there, then the timestamp format is not correct. It is in array. So
On in it, on
confirm and on add care context.
Yeah. Even yes. I just checked the log and it's on init. If you
Okay,
want,
cool.
I can share the response which we have received.
Yeah, please.
Okay, I'm sharing it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah,
Hey.
hi. Just one thing. Recently it shared that all the new integrators should integrate with the V3. So somebody who is already in process, like we have a connector and we are implementing it for Medanta. We have successfully integrated all the APIs on Sandbox. So should they move to V3 or can they apply for the STC with V1 only?
If
No,
you
you
have
can.
completed, yes. Go ahead with. Yeah, Sachin, take it.
Yes, if you have completed, then obviously you should go with the V1, V2 only. But please make sure ki your system is backward compatible, and whatever Vasant sir is teaching us here, whatever the things you need to keep in mind, please make sure ki your system is working fine.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, but eventually you are going to upgrade. You have to upgrade in the near future.
Yeah, for sure. That's gonna be effort, but then there's no.
Yes.
So the V3 upgradation in the future will be required for almost everybody. You mean to say that?
Yes. Yeah. So NHA will formally declare that the time window within which each and every integrator has to upgrade to V3. So future is V3.
V4 will also come?
For now, there is no V4. It's V3.
Okay. So better that we move to V3.
Yeah, we would recommend that. There are advantages.
Test it.
Maybe while we are...
Meanwhile, you test it and see to that whatever you're in production, you'll find.
Yes.
But start working on V3, you're telling us.
Yes. So there are many features, advantages in V3. As Sini said, right? There are many things. Now even the V2 system is served by V3. We just put a wrapper on, and all the requests are getting serviced by V3 application. That is why we are going to experience a better.
So when will you complete documentation of V3 is available online now?
Yeah, it's available. Maybe
So,
we'll also go and
Swagger,
do a session on that.
no Swagger available.
Yes.
Hi Vasant, can you hear me?
Yep, you are.
So I think what Umeshji and I think some of us would also have a query, and would find it easier to convince the leadership in our own organizations is probably if we have some of the metrics around what makes V3 better than V1 or V2, because you would you would also agree that the organizations would have to spend a lot of resources on migration, maintenance, and all of that. So if there are some metrics that defines what makes V3 better over the other versions, right? Whenever there is a movement, or if the others should also start moving towards it, that would help everyone in convincing the leadership, the CXOs, to basically
Yes, sure. Agree. I'm completely agree. So we'll do a separate session on V3. For now, right, I'll give you one or two critical points. Okay. For HIP initiator linking, the first pain point is you need to call 3-4 APIs, right? Now that is eliminated in V3. Then for linking a care context, right, at that time you can link only one care context. That is eliminated. In V3, you can link multiple care contexts. Just now I say that, right, in V2, the care contexts are not associated with HI types. Now that is gone. V3, each and every care context must be related to specific HI types. So your consent substitution can rise specific to, right, you'll be having a better control on the sharing the data. Okay. So on the ground are other, right, technical advantages are, right, scalability, reliability, throughput, okay, security. So these are the things. So certainly we will be doing the right explicit session on V3 APIs. Yeah, go ahead, Amal.
So basically the V3 system, we have changed the architecture. Now it is completely microservices based and highly scalable. The NFRs which we are trying to achieve is around 150 milliseconds of response within service to service communication. So that's a bigger boost to it. And I think the slowness or any other reliability issues which you may have faced in between. So all those are trying to be handled in the V3. So as you said, we can try to get some load testing what we have done. So the statistics are good for you to display to your CXOs. And that would help you out, to convince them to move to V3. And as Vasant said that, we have tried to reduce the number of API calls. We have tried to, kind of make it more developer friendly, so as it's easier to adapt in the future perspective also.
Yeah, and the other important thing is that, folks, like, it's what we call it as, like, the earlier where you will have to do a callback mechanism, which is your synchronous calls, which causes both, not just for the ABDM system, but for also for you as well, to kind of, a performance hiccup. That is also being taken care, because it is now completely, like, the V3 systems are completely asynchronous, and it is more fire and forget, and then you can just pull the data, and it is matter of milliseconds. We have performance tested it and everything. We have seen that the performance has been, like, we have been able to scale up very, very high. So those who are already in V3, just good, and those who are not, probably you might want to think about it slowly, like, trying to move towards it. Yeah.
Well, just I wanted to know one thing of asynchronicity. If the patient is being registered with the OTP, then why that call should be an asynchronous one? Anyway, we need it immediately, na? Some APIs which are asynchronous. For example, I will be putting a ABA address and submitting it, asking for a OTP, mobile OTP or Aadhaar OTP. And for the HIMS, why you are sending it through an asynchronous callback?
No. I think there is a mixture of both. So ABHA is still synchronous. Okay, that is where the M1 comes in. Okay.
No. After creation of ABHA, registration process of the patient, patient being registered with ABHA address.
So registration will only come in M1, right? Registration
also
part
it
is
is
M1 only.
No, whatever it is asynchronous still.
No,
M1 can you mention few APIs? Can you mention few APIs which you are talking
about? I'm not able to recollect fast. I'll give the UI picture. The patient comes, he produces the ABHA address, he gives. Now the receptionist enters the ABHA address, and with Aadhaar OTP, they will try to register that patient in their system.
So
it will send an OTP will go to the patient mobile, and the patient will give the OTP to the hospital receptionist, and she will enter that OTP and press submit. Then the patient demographics, everything will come back, and they will register the patient.
Correct. So you're talking about the M1 flow from the facilities, right? When they're using the Aadhaar number to register themselves for ABA. Am I correct?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, so that is synchronous. We are not talking about that. That is a M1 flow. This is basically for M2, M3, where there is an exchange of health records.
That was actually tested by HTC in M1, M2 actually. Okay, fine. It is M1 still.
So other good news is the pain point in right V2 system is right. You won't get the user will not get where he's committing the mistake, right? Now V3 a platform is right, developer friendly, as Shani say. You'll get a error message where you are doing wrong. So you know it reaches. Even you know it this document also. If you hit a API with incorrect payload, you will get a clear message. Everybody might find some 4-digit error code and the message, hey boss, you give invalid ABA address. You get invalid car context. It has to be this value. So you'll get those kind of right enhancement and value additions we brought in V3. We may discuss that during the right explicit session on V3. Let us continue with V2 now.
Yeah,
Any other questions?
Shyamjit, you are raising your hand for some time. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, Vasan.
Hey.
This is Sudev from Africa Care. So,
hey, Sudev, how are you?
I'm good. So, I want to follow up with what Mohit was asking around how do we convince for this change. So, I have two options here that I see. One is to make changes to the existing V1 APIs or to go directly with the V3. So, if I want to take such a decision, it will be helpful if we know when V3 will go to production. If V3 is going very sooner to production, then we'll directly make changes we'll migrate from V1 to V3.
V3 is already in production.
All of these APIs. Oh. So how about then us prioritizing movement to V3 than making these changes to V1 APIs?
No, basically, right, this session, we are not asking you to make any change. And as long as, right, you are completely aligned with OpenAPI. There are any deviation, we are requesting you guys to correct that deviation. We are not brought in any single change in V2 system. It is completely aligned to the NHA published OpenAPI specification.
All right.
We are just asking
we want to ensure, right,
to test your system.
To validate it.
Yes.
As I said, right, now the service is served by the V3 system. We put a wrapper on it. Okay, we want to ensure that your production system will not break. We are planning to move these things into production. We want to don't do it blindly. We want to ensure that whatever in the production are certified as yes, their system is right seamless and they are not experiencing any difficulty or any problem as long as they are aligned with OpenAPI specification. That is the core agenda of this call.
All right. Then where can we find the V3 API specifications?
Yeah, it is there in the sandbox. Maybe right, Sachin will give you the URL. We'll do that.
Yes, I'm pasting the V3 API documentation in the chat, and the Swagger documentation we will update in the near future.
And if I use V3 in the production, the people who are using V1 APIs, they will still be able to see the documents care context. So the question is, if I move to V3, there is nothing that would break between the operators who might be using V1 and V3.
Yeah, exactly. See, that is what this solution, right? Now you can test your application with HIP implemented with V3, Elflix as implemented in E3 only. There are other integrator called Briefcase. They implemented with V3. So you can do the cross-functional testing, the interoperability, right, between V2 and V3 systems. So if you are experiencing any challenges, let us know.
All right.
Yeah, I have a question. So if I've correctly understood, we are not going V1 or V2 APIs, those are not going to be deprecated anytime soon. If I'm not
wrong. It will be deprecated. The time period or the particular frame will be defined by NHS soon. You will get official notification.
Okay,
it will be deprecated for sure.
Yeah. So if I'm not wrong, the sandbox application that we have, that application uses V1 or V2 APIs only, and that does not uses V3 APIs. So we as a team, we use it as a reference for making our PHR app.
So if you are referring the PHR application, currently we rolled out our V3 application has been rolled out in Sandbox.
Yeah, the Sandbox application. So basically, we use it as a reference to make our own application. So when this V1 or V2 APIs will be deprecated, at that time, will this ABAS VX app will it stop working, or are you guys trying to?
Yeah, yeah, it will, it will. So that is what. Now already we have rolled out our V3 PHR application in Sandbox. So we recommend you guys, or we request you guys start using that particular app. V3, V2 app will be the first one which will get deprecated soon.
Hello, sir.
Maybe
You are from
right.
which organization? Hello, can you repeat?
Parcha, PARCHAA.
Okay, so I think you are building a PHR and HMIs both, right?
Yeah, we have been certified for environmental MT, the PHR certificate. Yeah.
Yes. So see, you have already implemented everything. So for now, you don't have to change anything. Please make sure that your existing system is working fine in Sandbox. That is the objective of this workshop. For the future, what will happen, we will notify. You don't have to worry about this, okay?
So just to clear out the cloud, I think it is not going to happen immediately. There would be a set of decisions to be taken before we deprecate the V2, right? So, don't worry immediately. But as lots of people have mentioned that we will provide you the matrix. Probably we can have a good start there. But let's see. It's not going to happen immediately. That's for sure.
Got it.
One question I have, Vasant, you mentioned that there is one service ID and bridge ID is there. So can you provide a little bit of clarity on that? That what is the exact difference between the two?
Okay. So bridge ID is nothing but your client ID. Okay.
Okay.
Under that, you can have n number of service. Okay.
Right.
You can build your HIP, your
Okay.
HIU.
Okay.
So we recommend you to create a unique service ID for your services. Say, for example, ABC underscore HIP. This is right. Gives me the right sound that this is a service ID of a HIP. ABC underscore HIU. It is a sounds me like right. Okay, it is a service ID of HIU. So bridge ID, bridge ID basically right, which is a root. Under that you can have n number of HIPs and HIUs or PHRs. Okay, so the callback URL right will be one. If you are building HRP right, assume your HIP ID is your bridge ID. Under the HRP there will be a number of HIP and HIUs, right? So each service ID is associated to specific service, but the callback URL is one that is right aligned with the bridge ID.
Understood. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah, I had one question. Vasant, you mentioned that I'm Ranveer from Hitachi Amjara. You mentioned that the difference between the V2 and the V3 APIs is that when you link it, when there's HIP initiated linking for a care context, it's linked with a particular HI type. But we have a use case where a particular care context can have multiple HI types. For example, a consultation can lead to a prescription being generated as well as a wellness record. So how would we handle this case in the V3 APIs?
So that is what you have to create, right? Define the care context reference for each associated data. It cannot be right. So prescription, I can give right encounter one underscore prescription, the prescription ID. This is my care context reference of that particular document. Similarly, wellness record, you can have right encounter one underscore wellness, some document ID. So you have to define two reference, right? Two different unique care context display name and reference ID to that to it.
I guess my question was more along the lines of like in a real world scenario, a patient will come for a consultation. Right? That consultation is a care context, right? And that consultation could lead to the generation of a prescription as well as a wellness record. So
yeah, each and every see that is what each and every document, individual document, you have to define the care context ID and the display name. It should be unique.
No, you mean to say that each care context for particular document?
Yeah.
For example, a patient comes, we always did that one care context was to have as many as documents for that. For example, it could be prescription, it could be diagnostic report, only one care context, na?
Yeah, that is why. So we want to give make the consent specific to a document, specific
No,
to
not
care context.
consent. Consent.
Yeah,
Different.
yes.
I'm talking
When
about
you're raising a consent, right now in the current system problem is right. As you said, one care context might have a number of documents, right? While pushing a data. Okay.
no
So
pushing.
if you're
I'm talking from HIMS point of view. Hospital HIMS is creating data and it is sending it. Nah? It will create for a single visit multiple documents for a single patient.
yeah, so we are advising guys to generate the reference to unique reference to each and every document, so that we can keep the consent and data exchange as granular as possible to specific document.
Sorry to interject, but so I guess just to clarify, my question was: is the care context to HI type a one-to-one relation, or it can be a one-to-many relation? One care context,
One-to-one.
multiple HI.
One-to-one.
When
But
this was
Vasant
not
sir,
there in V1.
Vasant sir,
Yeah.
I think for one particular care context, we can have multiple prescription.
Yeah.
Maybe
One
we'll take it
care
offline.
context.
We'll take V3 questions. We'll take it offline. Okay.
Okay. No, this confusion.
Yeah, we'll take it offline. Let us not confuse others also. We'll take it.
Okay.
We will have one more session if you want before rolling out the V3 APIs. Obviously, we'll have multiple sessions on V3. So for now, let us focus on the V1, V2 APIs that we need to complete as soon as possible, I think.
Any questions?
Okay, one last question. Like, if as I said earlier, like if the patient, at the time of care context linking, okay, if the patient is not with us, like if the patient is gone from the hospital, okay, if and the data is there with the hospital, so can the hospital can link that particular patient's data with the ABDM with the using of demographic mode? Is it fine?
Yeah, we strongly recommend to use demographic only.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
So in V3, in fact, we kept only demographic. There is no OTP, blah blah blah. Just generate a token. Same token can be used for next 6 months.
And notification will be shared to the patients about the records, correct?
Yep,
Via
you are
the
right.
ABDM. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, you
Yeah.
are right.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Just to clarify now, we were saying
last
that
question.
yeah, we will roll out V3 API. That I didn't understand. Just we just agreed now V3 is on production.
Yeah,
Is
it is
not
on
Hey,
production.
guys.
What do you mean to say is we'll do an exclusive session on V3 in the near future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
There are
this
sessions
session is about this session is more on the V1, V2 to more, as like Sachin rightly said, about people coming and testing it, and let us know if there are any difficulties while you are trying to test it. Is there any issues which is rising? And if you have any doubts for that, the primary purpose of this two sessions is basically going to be on V1 and V2. V3 is the engine which is really working for this V1 and V2 as of for this in the sandbox. So we have just what do you call done a facade which will so that you don't need to worry about it. Okay.
So, hello.
Go ahead.
So like this session is just to test our V1 and V2 APIs. That's it. Nothing more about V3, if I guess.
Yes.
As you said. As you said.
So as of now, guys, yes, that is the answer. Probably Sachin can answer you. We will have a separate session on V3. We'll provide a detailed view on V3 probably after some time. Okay. Yeah. But this automatically, this as of now, it takes care. We have created a transformer. So all the V2 APIs which are being used will still go to the V3 API and be reverted back. Yeah.
Yes, Vadan sir, let us continue
Yeah.
to the user
So
injected
the
linking.
yep. The next API is a discovery. So discovery again, the primary mistakes, the errors we found is request ID, not using the unique request ID. HAP ID, as I said, okay, people are maybe giving the bridge ID and unverified identifier. So here unverified identifier, right? It is you can give mobile number, email ID, medical record. Your ABA number and ABA address are right verified identifiers. maybe it's a document is a typo. Okay. So maybe you guys are getting right different service unavailable error. That may create a problem where it is. Okay. So we already updated the error message, proper error messages. So okay. Then the other thing is right ABDM. So we observed right. We are giving the discovery call in the ABDM, and there are some people right. There are few people they are giving us response in the NDHR, and they are claiming that I'm giving the response back. I'm getting request ID mismatch or some errors. So again, I'm reiterating one more time. NDHM, dev.ndhm is decommissioned. It is no more exists. So if you hit that API, you get response. We have not right. We keep it for our internal right development and other purpose, but it's not for public use. The reality for the outside world, NDHM is decommissioned. Okay. Then authorization, same HIP ID, this API also right. The transaction ID, people are not giving the transaction ID. So whenever we are generating the transaction ID, that particular transaction is specific to the request, particular ABA address and the HIP. Okay, so when you are giving reverting back us, you have to use the same transaction ID till the transaction get completed. Okay, you see, right, this is the API we are sending to you, right? You see ID, you will get the ABA address, not the ABA number. Unverified identifier, you will get ABA number, everything. But unverified identifier, you will get mobile number, email ID, or any other hospital ID. For example, Apollo Hospital. It may have a unique patient ID for me. I can include that. So you will get that thing. Name, gender, year of birth. So this is year of birth is integer 4-digit number. Name, it's a full name, first name, middle name, last name. Gender, as I said, M, F, O, and right, U. Similarly, yeah, this is very, very important, HCM ID. So whenever you guys are hitting our API, you have to pass HCM ID. We observe that people are giving a different ABDM and a SBX between the production and sandbox. If you are hitting any API, consuming any API from sandbox, HCM ID is SBX. Okay. Anything in production, it's ABDM. Okay. So you have to give me the callback in the same fashion that request ID. This request ID is coming from your discovery API. And in case of error, you have to include the error object. No need to include this right patient object. Okay. Transaction ID, the one which you received on the previous API call. Reference number string, we said, right? We will publish that regex. Don't include right special character other than the recommended one. Display name, the same. Care context, if you see, there is a list of care contexts, right? So this is again, you can have included a number of reference number and display. It may be related to or associated to one document. Okay. And you have to give me the response matched by MR. It means if it is not right, matched by any of your medical records, say patient ID rather than ABA address or ABA number, you have to give me the MR. So the other values are the initial error. Okay. And SLA, this V2, right? The synchronous asynchronous problem comes to right here. So the request origin from mobile application will be synchronous, and the communication between platform and the HIP will be asynchronous. So make sure right your system is giving response within the stipulated SLA 10 seconds. Okay. And yeah, again, NDHM ABDM as I said. Okay, linking it also the same. You have to give right the same transaction ID. You have to include the characters which you received in the this undiscovered call. Okay, and edit. Okay, here people are committing. They are generating a new transaction ID. That is wrong. So I clearly said right. The transaction ID will be one throughout your transaction. Once that changed, the transaction is successfully completed, then your transaction will be called. So you have to use the same transaction ID. That is what we observe with few integrators. Okay. Then bridge ID for this API also link in it, it's a bridge ID. Other than that, we have not observed much. We observed few things with the right reference number, the special characters. Okay, the transaction I said. Timestamp. We of course most of the APIs, right? Almost all the APIs, we experience problem with the request ID and timestamp. Other than that, these kind of care context, reference number, the special characters. Otherwise, all good. Okay, then there's the HCM ID value. Okay, so here right, authentication type, right? So it's a user initiated linking flow. You have to give the mediated option because you are doing your linkages using OTP. So direct swagger you cannot include. It's a right string. It won't show all the values, right? Please refer the swagger. Okay. If it is a mediated, so mobile is a mediated option. You have to include mediate, not direct. Direct is for right HIP initiator linking, the user auth mode. You have to, if it is you are preferring with the direct auth mode, then you have to include direct. Okay, the communication, all those things. Again, here also we observed people are giving incorrect timestamp. Okay, and this value has to be future. Sometimes people are giving a past value. It has to be future. They are saying right, so mobile OTP is valid for next 15 minutes, next 20 minutes, not past 10 minutes, right? Then error object. If there are any, if you are experiencing a problem with your dependent service, you're not able to trigger OTP, then you have to give us a error message saying that right, there is a error, we are not able to trigger OTP.
And
the response ID.
One more
Yes,
thing, Vasan sir, in the link reference number, we have this reference number now. Then I think most of the integrators, what they are doing, they are passing the reference number as ABA address. Please do not do this. This reference number should be your GUID. This reference number is for your OTP. Please do not confuse this with the ABA address.
And here, so in V2, right, that's this is one confuse, right? The API which will confuse each other. So you will be passing the link reference number, the path variable, and the body. So you have to include both. So you may say that right, even if we not passing in the body, it was working in the past. Yeah, even it will remain work, but please, right, follow the specification. Include that reference number in the payload also. Okay, and here one recommendation to the HIPs. Hey, if you are generating OTP, we strongly recommend you guys ensure your OTP is not started with 0. Okay, you know that right, you will create a problem when you are mapping with your integer data for long data. Okay, it should not be start with 0. Please, although that you are triggering a OTP which is not starting with 0. Okay, that is one peculiar problem we have experienced with one or two integrators. Okay, so that is a recommendation we have for you guys. And this link reference number is nothing but what you received here. Okay, then yeah, confirm same request number on the OTP. So OTP, if it starts with 0, yeah, you will be experiencing some problem. So HIPs, please ensure you guys are not generating OTP starts with 0. Okay, and on confirm, you have to include the same pair context. If there is any mismatch, then it will fail. Okay, and same. If in between if your system experience any difficulties, and send the error object. Okay, with the code and the message, you know to include this patient object. This is not required; it's irrelevant. And yeah, patient links, that's nothing much. It's a get API. You have to include the authorization token and right HCM ID. So HCM ID, ensure you are passing SBX for sandbox and this one for ABDM for production. So this is the access token. Yeah, so this is not right. Your session tokens access token, which you generated using this right, either user authentication mode or you got it from auth confirm. Okay. And now you can use the same token since it's served by the V3 system. You can use the same token for adding multiple care contexts. You don't need to call auth init APIs, auth confirm APIs for every linkages. And you'll get a callback response. When successfully added, you'll get the callback acknowledgement. Otherwise, we'll say you error in case of it's a duplicate or there are mismatch. We'll give the appropriate error message in your callback response. Okay. Then notify. Yeah, this will get notified. Okay, this is the API. Okay, so this we will write notify if there's any change in your care context. So you don't need to call this API immediately after the HIP initiator linking. If you make any change, so there are reports which can write you may get changed even after confirmed by the doctor, right? So in that case, if there are any change in the report, you have to notify us. And this is the API. You have to call that time. It's not necessary to call this API for every HIP initiator linking. It's for notifying the change, not for right for every linkages. Okay. And yeah, notify will give the callback again, same acknowledgement, error in case of error, otherwise the same. So before getting into authentication, I'd like to hear from you guys questions for next five minutes. Go ahead.
I have a question. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah, you're audible. Go ahead.
Yeah. The question is, we have developed our M1 and M3, and we haven't done M2 yet. So, is it possible to go ahead with testing for the certifications with M1 and M3, and maybe later we will complete M2? And also, M3 is in V1 and V0.5.
So you're from which entity?
We are from eHealth Pro.
eHealth. Sir, for this you need to write us a mail, okay? And then we will review it, and after that only, if the higher management allows, then only we will give you approval. Please write us a mail, then we will check it. You can write us to the integration.support.
Integration?
.support@nhc.gov.in.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Sumit from NIC. Actually, we need a bit of clarification and elaboration on the direct and mediated mode of communication. So, what is the difference and when to use which?
So we'll discuss that in upcoming API. Okay.
Okay.
So in case of user initiated linking, that is mediated. Okay.
Okay. But that is the context basically. In the case of user initiated linking here.
Yep. So we have direct and other auth modes in the upcoming APIs.
So you are going to discuss in the next part, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Next set of APIs are those.
Okay. Thank
you. Any other questions? Okay. Then we are good. We'll continue the next API. Sachin, we'll continue.
Yes, sir.
So,
please continue.
fetch mode APIs. Okay. Fetch mode APIs, we observed this one, right? People are giving NDHM. It has to be ABDM. Okay. On the ID, you can give ABA number or ABA address. The next one, which we observed is a purpose. Since a string people used to give, right? Link, KYC underscore link. That is wrong. Okay. Link purpose can be one. Either link, KYC, or KYC and link. Link means, right, you want to link a car context. So purpose of this is, right, you are trying to generate a access token. That is link token. Okay. KYC means for complete the patient registration. Suppose I'm in front of the hospital. Okay, I just carried my right ABA card. I just remember my ABA address. I'm just giving to the people in the reception, and they are trying to complete my registration. They may require my KYC details, so they can call this API. KYC and link means, right, I need both KYC and the link token because the patient is in front of me. I want to complete my registration as well as I'm going to do right linkages for that fellow. So I don't want to do a two-step process. Give me the link token now only. I'll do the linkages as soon as the data is ready. So these are the three probability. You cannot try to club all the three within the single purpose. It has to be either link, KYC, or link and KYC. Okay. So you have to mention that's HIP and HIV. Here, if you are mentioning as HIP, then you will get a response on the header X-HIP-ID. If you mention HIU here, you will get X-HIU-ID in your callback response. Okay, there are few who expected, right? They give HIP here and they are saying that no, I should get the callback response with X-HIU-ID. So ensure that checking HIP here, your callback will be containing X-HIP-ID. Okay, so now fetch mode will give you this. Okay, suppose the user is right, you provide ABA address that is not linked with ABA number and that is not linked with any email ID, then you will get mobile OTP. Suppose if the ABA number created using Aadhaar, you will get mobile OTP, you will get Aadhaar OTP, you will get, and if user is using mobile application, you will get a direct also, Aadhaar OTP and demographics. Okay. In case that ABA address does not exist in the system, you will get an error object, not the auth object. Request ID, timestamp, and the error object will say this ABA address does not exist. Okay, the appropriate error message here. And this request ID is your request ID which you keep, right, pass to us in the request payload. Okay.
This
And
auth
for
modes, sometimes it will only give demographics. But if I try to register the patient with mobile OTP, it will happen.
in those cases, right, please reach us, write an email immediately. If the ABA address is created using mobile number, certainly demographic and mobile OTP will come.
Sometimes I see only demographics will be there. Aadhaar
Yeah,
OTP
please,
and mobile OTP doesn't come.
Yeah, Aadhaar OTP, right? If that Aadhaar number is not linked to Aadhaar number, then Aadhaar OTP will not come. But mobile OTP, if
They
it is
are
created,
linked. My own ABA, I'm trying. Sometimes it
please
gives
write.
all the three, and
Yeah,
sometimes it
please
says
write
only
us.
demographics.
Yeah, please write us an email. We'll do the root cause analysis and let you know.
Vasant sir,
Then that is wrong.
Vasant sir, we can
Yes,
write
yes.
down this point. Please write down this point. The Aadhaar OTP mode is not coming.
Sometimes it comes, sometimes it doesn't come. Because
For
I'm
the-
testing with my own ABA ABD many times. It gives me only sometimes demographics, auth modes. Sometimes it will give all the three. Sometimes it doesn't give.
For linked, if the ABA
Fetch
address is
modes.
linked.
Hmm.
It is not
Thank you.
perfect.
Same ways
So-
happened with me as well. Sometimes it is coming and sometimes it is coming not.
We
Yeah,
will check
sometimes
it.
it's not.
We
Yeah.
will check it, sir.
Yeah,
You can share us the
we'll-
logs on integration.support and we will check it.
Then the direct mode is coming here. So direct mode, right? So now I'm in the hospital. Okay. I can, right, the hospital can validate me either through OTP or through demographic or direct mode. Direct mode means if I'm using a mobile phone, I'll get a push notification. Through that, I can authenticate. But someone asked us, right, just a couple of minutes before, shall I use demographic for financial linking? Yes. See, we don't know, right, when the document will generate for the patient. Not necessary that the patient need to be physically present at permits to perform financial linking. So these are the features available, but we strongly recommend you guys to go ahead with demographic based.
Please tell us more about direct mode.
So direct, right? Now I'm in the hospital. Okay.
Yeah.
If the receptionist want to authenticate me, okay. So I just provided my ABA address. Okay.
Yeah.
So see, you want to authenticate me because I should not give somebody else ABA number, right? Or ABA address.
Yeah.
So we can trigger this API in alternate mode with the direct mode. The end user will get, if he is using a mobile application, he will get right a push notification the mobile application. Okay,
Push
in the PHR
notification means it will get SMS.
No, SMS. It's not SMS push notification. App notification. How
Sir,
we are getting for
like
Amazon?
it's like your Google account. Whenever you want to log in, you will receive some yes, no, right, on your phone. It's like that.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't want to share the OTP.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead
yes,
of asking him to share the OTP, he can
It's
just
like
Google.
it's like just asking in person.
So what is
If it
happening in consent
helps.
flow?
He should have definitely that person should have a smartphone. If he is having a regular
Smartphone
phone
and a PHR.
Yeah, if he's on featured phone, then mobile OTP is the only option. You won't get
and
the
smartphone with the PHR app
Yes.
installed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is in such a case, I would ask him to go for scan and share. That is better.
So that is the reason V3, right? We eliminated just ABBA. We said demographic mode. Get a link token.
Here the
generate only
demographic
once,
mode
use it
is
for
the
6
most
months.
important.
Yeah.
It's easiest way.
In fact, we are using demographic mode for returning patient. Once the patient is registered, we use demographic mode.
Yeah, even we recommend you that.
And
you
for QR
using
scanning also same, we are using demographic mode.
Anyone else? Shall we continue?
Okay, so here, right, then the auth init mode transaction ID. Okay, please give us what are the transaction ID we are giving to you. Don't use a new one. Okay, and don't change the auth mode also. If you trigger the mode is with mobile OTP, on it also will give the same, and on something you have to give the same. It should not be changed between the APIs. That we observe. Okay, and expiry you will get a future. It should not be right past. Okay. Confirm API, as I said, you also use the same transaction ID. auth code is nothing but your OTP. This is applicable. Credential is right applicable for your the auth code is applicable for mobile OTP. In demographic case, you just include the demographic. No need to include the auth code. Okay. But transaction and in direct mode, you won't get this. Okay. Direct mode just will get notified to the user and you will get the callback in a different API endpoint. This confirm API is for mobile OTP, Aadhaar OTP, and demographic. Okay. Then on confirm, you will get the access token. Now this token has a maximum validity. Initially, it was one-time use. Now you can, whatever the token we are providing, you can use it for multiple times. You don't need to call the previous above 3 API. Subsequently, you just go ahead and use the same token for linking other multiple care contacts. Okay. And here, if you use
Vasant, just wanted to add one thing. Most of the integrators who tested this this solution, backward compatibility solution, they faced issue in this particular API, that is on confirm. So please make sure you are like following the Swagger specifications only. If you are suppose that you are expecting something as mandatory, but it is not mandatory in Swagger, then you have to change it. So in this API, mostly we faced some difficulty with the integrators. So please go through the Swagger documentation, and Vasant sir will also tell you about this. Yes, sir, continue.
Yeah. So here, if your input, your auth init is for link, you will get only the link till here, You'll get only this object, auth object. You won't get the patient object. If it is just KYC, you will get only the patient object, not the auth object. So in Swagger, why it's both are appearing, It's it's a single object on the list. Okay. So it will give the example, show the example value. You just to read it. Okay. And if it is link and KYC option, then both the objects will be appearing to you. So as Sachin rightly said, there are integrators they call doing the KYC, but they are expecting us to give the auth object. And they are just doing the link, they're expecting us to give the KYC. That is wrong. Okay. If you have properly implemented, no worries, you don't need to worry. If there are anything, you have to correct it. That's a place where many people are facing challenges because you guys, most of them are using SAP initiated linking, and this is very important API for completing the transaction. Okay. Error object, same, nothing to say. Because we are giving to you, and you will get 4-digit, and error code in V3 you will get ABDM 4-digit. V2 is just 4-digit. And yeah, so this is okay. Go ahead. Let me pass here. Anybody want to say anything?
My name is Hasna, and I am representing Medbot entity. And I have a doubt that we completed the milestone M1 with version V3 and M3 with V1 V0.5. Is that okay to move on for functional testing?
Yes. So the only restriction is that on M2, M3 you cannot be mix and match that V2 and V3 APIs. M1, yeah, you can still complete your V3 stuff. V2, V3, if you have started with V2, just complete with V2 only.
No, I'm asking about M3. We done it with V1 version. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can go with V2.
Yeah.
But
okay.
V2, V3, there should not be mismatch.
Okay.
Either you have to completely using V3 API, HSCM, V2 APIs or V3 APIs. Mix and match is not allowed in V2 or V3. Sorry, M2 or M3.
Sorry, sir, can you please repeat?
Sorry?
I didn't get you. I mean, for M3.
What I'm saying is, if you have completed your M1 with V3 APIs, fine, not a problem. You already started M2 and M3 with V2 APIs, no problem. Complete your M2, M3 with V2 APIs only. You are disallowed to use V2, V3 APIs for M2 and M3. You have to fully on V2 or V3.
Can you let us know when you started the integration for M2? If you are in very initial stage, then you can still use V3, right? Because understanding is the same, functionality is the same. You don't have to change anything in UI. Yes.
We completed the milestone entry with V1.
Yes.
So is that okay to move on?
No, then it is okay. If you have completed, then it's okay. You can continue with V1, V2 APIs.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Okay, so now right. So the direct auth mode, you will get a notification, a push notification on mobile application. So you have to call this API, the approve API. Okay. The payload you have to give generate perpetual token equal to true or false. Okay. Because if you give perpetual token false, then we won't include the token. We'll just give the KYC information. If it is true, we'll generate that link token. Basically, this is basically for health locker. Mostly health locker will use this. Okay, and the token has a maximum validity. Now that remains same. Okay, your token is as maximum validity. You can perform HF initial linking using the same token a number of times. Now it's valid for 6 months. Okay, and if you see right, this is the callback response you will get auth notify for direct auth mode. If right the perpetual token is true, then you will include this auth object. Otherwise, only the patient object will be there. If it is true, then the both objects will be included. For that, you need to give the callback response. Okay. Callback response again, acknowledgement status equal to square, and the request ID, response request ID is the request ID of this API. Okay. So then revoke, you can revoke your right authorization. Okay. That is using the request ID. That is authorization request ID. Or you can deny. Okay. Then, so you can retrieve your authorization using the get API. So for this, right, it's very simple. Any request object from mobile application, you need to XR token or the session token. That's other right mistakes we observe. Okay.
Vasant sir, we can skip this part. Let us move directly to the M3.
Can we stop here, Sachin? It's we close to 5. We'll take the
Okay.
questions and continue tomorrow.
Sure. Let us take few questions and then we will continue with the M3 flow tomorrow. And the data transfer is also remaining for M2.
Yeah, think you can write, ask your questions.
Yes, yes, Mahesh sir.
आप ही बचे हुए हो करो साइन आपने डिले करवा
Vasant sir.
Yep.
I observed one thing yesterday when I was checking the discovery flow. Nowadays, I think for the unverified identifiers, we are getting maybe some request ID. I mean, some GUID in as an MR.
Yeah. So we as if you see right the discovery API. Okay, you can ignore that. Okay, the discovery API synchronous call. It don't have the request ID. Okay, but V3 we are expecting a request ID. Okay.
No,
and
what I'm
in
saying
V3,
is,
I know. Unverified identifier, you are getting a some GUID value, correct?
Yeah, right, correct. Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm coming to that. So in V3 system, right, we implemented the replay attack. You cannot hit the API with the same payload within the next 5 minutes, okay, or 10 minutes. But V2 system, it allows it. So even though it's a flaw, we need to support that, right? But if you trigger the discovery API, there is no difference. You have to include the ABAR system. So then you will get right duplicate request here. To avoid that error in V2 system, we are adding a random value for every request so that whatever the flow currently it exists in the system, even though it's a flaw, it will work. That's why we are including that random ID.
Okay.
Vasant sir, but there might be some issue now where the patient is giving the unverified identifier.
In that case, we are getting multiple values. We are getting multiple MR values, but in this case, we will have to, I guess, we will have to ignore this. That if we are getting some value like GUID.
Yeah, you are going to discover the patient using ABAR address, ABAR number, mobile number, or any other right MRs. Okay, even it's one of the value, right? Mostly the patient will be matched with ABAR address, number, and mobile number. Eventually, we won't go to the unverified maximum cases, as long as it is a hospital patient ID, right? So you can exclude the UID from your side. It will get excluded.
More often, the discovery flow will be initiated if the patient has not given his ABA address to the hospital which he has initiated. In that case, if it's given, the hospital already linked it up.
Yes, sir.
So the ABA as an identifier during discovery flow doesn't make real big difference.
Yes,
At least
sir.
maybe hospital ID, that is MR number, that could make some advantage.
Umesh sir, what you can do, you
Yes, sir.
already know your hospital ID, right? What is
Yeah.
the format? What will be
Yeah.
the length? Okay.
Yeah.
So for now, you can make some validations on this MR
Yeah, we
thing.
use that. We use that,
Yes.
that
Huh.
number.
Then it's fine.
That's we are not depending on ABA address. Of course, if ABA address matches will go, that the discovery
No.
flow, usually patients will try discovering if they are not given the ABA address to the hospital. That's what.
What Vishwam was saying, you will receive the hospital ID as well as one unique ID. So what we are asking you to do, please ignore that GU ID. You already know what is the sequence of your hospital ID, right? So you can find the hospital ID and use that. Please do not add GU ID, otherwise you will never be able to find that patient.
Okay. Yeah, right. Got it.
Yes.
GU ID. Okay.
Yeah.
So very
this is
simple. We
from
recommend you to
NIC.
search a patient using verified identity rather than unverified identity.
No, sir, there might be some cases where the verified identifiers are not there. So we have to take this.
Yeah. That is why I recommend it. So in that case, that is why we are recommending to you go by the format of their system.
Yes, please use
Hospital
the
ID.
Yes. Please do not go with this GU ID. Please ignore this.
Yeah, this is Sumit from NIC actually.
Yes,
so say this discovery use case is basically useful for patients who doesn't have this RFI. Okay, but he has his historical health records in the HIMS system. Okay, that is the main use case I think for discovery. So in that case, if the patient has visited the hospital HIMS, so can there be a specific field to mention the internal hospital UHID for the patient in the app, EHR app or something? Because if the patient can specify the UHID, the internal ID, it will be very easy for the HMS system to identify him.
No, sir.
PHR app will have that facility.
This functionality is already there. Vasant sir.
PHR app, there is one optional field.
Number, yeah.
You can give the GU hospital ID.
In place of optional, you can mention internal ID or something.
That is what we are getting as an unverified identifier.
Okay. Vasant sir, I have one suggestion. What we can do, if the user is giving the hospital ID, then in that array, we can keep it on the top.
Yes, it will be. That is the case, right?
So suppose that if the hospital is using the GU ID in their hospital ID, so they can segregate. The first thing is the hospital ID, and the next thing they have to ignore.
No, we use we actually validate from in our system with if the patient has to give his UHID of the hospital, and as well the mobile number we do check it. Of course, the same one patient can have multiple attachment for the mobile number. So these two things we compare. If the hospital patient has given exact UHID, and then it will send a link. It will send the data to that. That's what. And OTP anyway will go. The OTP anyway will go.
Actually, what our suggestion is like if you can mention one optional field with the internal ID.
Yes, sir.
Label should be
name of it.
It is already there. It is already there.
But name on the app is something different.
Sir, we will take your point and we will discuss it. Vishwam, I think you got your answer right. What you have to do?
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, Mageshwar, go ahead. Mageshwar, you are raising your hand for a long time. Go ahead.
Maheshwar Sahu and
Namrata.
Hello. So my question is in direct auth mode. So after approving the authorization request, we have option to revoke it.
Yes.
So once the care context has been linked, what is the meaning of revoke?
No. See, revoke means that you are revoking the access. It doesn't mean you are revoking the linked care context. Linked care context
So
is
that
linked.
access token will be expired.
That will get, yes.
Okay, so the linked care context will not have any effect, right?
Yeah, that is permanent. until the user abort is getting deleted or user is deleting it. If it is linked, that's it.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Any other questions?
This is Sumit again. Actually, in case of say patient-initiated linking, okay, we have to use the mediated mode, right? We need to send the OTP only.
Yes.
We cannot use direct mode.
Yeah, you can have. That is
We
wrong.
cannot. Yeah. Okay, fine. So in case of direct mode, I think we'll be getting one callback in the notify, right?
Yep, and you will be giving the unnotified.
Yeah, you have to. I have to respond back to the notify. Okay, that is.
Okay, it's already we have already excluded the time. No, sir, Maheshwar, you are not audible. So we will connect again tomorrow at 3. Okay. So remaining query we can have tomorrow, and we will cover the rest of the flows as well. I will request each and every one of you, please test your system in Sandbox. And if you test it now, you might face some issues. And for this purpose only, we are having this session. We can have more session as well. So I will request you, please test it and write down the issues and drop the mail. You can write on the mail that you have joined that session, and from that session you are testing this. You can give the some scenario. Okay, and you can share the complete logs. Yes, sir. Suraj sir, we will try to upload this recording tomorrow. You will have this recording.
We have to drop the mail at integration support mailbox.
Yes, you can drop it on integration.support. You can CC me. I'm pasting my email ID.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
But please test it before the call.
Sure.
It will be very helpful. You will get more insights. Okay. It will not feel like a lecture.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Vasant sir. Thank you, team.
Hey, thank you, team. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye. Have a good day.
Well, thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You too,